Hi, this is Garnet, and it's been a little while since I've posted a video in this portal. I think it was July 26th, and today is August 13th. And I've kind of wondered to myself, why have I been kind of putting it off or procrastinating or postponing it? I've wanted to. I think in my concept, this video portal is more personal, kind of what's on my mind. And the other one, I don't know on which side it is on your screen, but the one going deeper is more professional, more kind of research, science related. So this one. So um, but this is the issue. Why have I been holding off? And I haven't been very sure about that. I felt kind of like not nervous, just reluctant. And here it is in the morning. And for me, I'm better in the morning. My thinking is more clear. Um, I think also I'm closer to what I'll call the truth of what I'm feeling and thinking and seeing. I'm maybe more honest. I'm not sure that that's even the word, maybe more authentic. So I think, I think it's about the difference between uh, teaching and learning. I think that's what it is. I've had a great chance to do a lot of teaching in my life, and I'll share a phase. I can't say that I completely finished that phase, but it kind of goes like this, that I used to teach quite a lot in healthcare and body work and different associated methodologies in wellness and health. And my classes were quite popular. I had a good reputation. Oftentimes, the classes were full, oftentimes, even kind of waiting lists to see if people didn't show, then a person would come in. And the mistake, and I do think it's a mistake, the mistake that I believe that I made was thinking that people were coming to experience my teaching, which probably seems arrogant and probably was and is. So I would focus on my teaching. And I'll say, oh, it wasn't like one day, but I began to have a different point of view over time. The storytelling makes it seem kind of simple and in stages where it's more complicated. But I began to reflect on, was it really my teaching? Like, why were people spending money and time and effort to be in a room with me when I'm the teacher? And bit by bit, I began to realize that they were not there to experience my teaching. Maybe they didn't even know that. Maybe they thought it was, oh, Garnet's a good teacher, I should go there. I think the truth is that they were there to experience their learning. And the more that I would personally be focusing on my teaching, meaning me, and not them, and their learning, that it was as though it was required that they come to me into my teaching that would hopefully result in their learning. This sounds like a formula, but this is the best way I can describe it. So, what I tried to do was, okay, I have to be aware of myself because there I am representing the teaching and the lesson, but to shift my attention away from my teaching into their learning, to be a part of their learning was an effort that I began to make. So, having had all of that over time, and it was many years, here I am now, and I have this website, and I don't know who's watching or listening to this video, so it's a little bit odd. I'd rather be speaking directly to people and see their faces and answer their questions. But the the posture that I'm, and I'll say humbly, I'm not saying I am humble, but I am attempting to be less arrogant, more humble, is to share with you not so much what I know, because there are things that I do believe I know, I might be wrong, but to be a student along with you is my goal, to be open about the learning process. There's a saying, I don't know if it's really true, but a good part of it has been true for me, that in a classroom, the person that learns the most is the teacher. I don't think that's always true, but it certainly has been often true for me, where that challenge of trying to convey something to another means a lot of self-reflection, kind of assessment too. So my goal here, and this is, the personal video portal, if you know what I mean, is for me to authentically, I'll say honestly, but I'm not quite sure what honest means, but to be authentic in the process of exploring these topics. It's called the art and science of consciousness. That's a big mountain to climb. I do not claim to be an authority. I can tell you about what I learn, what I think, what I know, what others know. But it's this issue of, I guess, credibility or combined with vulnerability. Uh, So that's what my aim is. There are a lot of other thoughts I have about this, and even why I decided. I thought, well, okay, it's been at least a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks, not really, but pretty close, since I even posted here. And again, my reflection has been like, why? I'm sitting at my other desk in the same room. I could come over here and click and do it. Why would I hesitate? Well, it's better if I do it in the morning, is what appears to me to be true. So here it is. It's morning in Chiang Mai, Thailand, August 13th. And I thought, I'm just going to, jump in the water with you and let you know that what I will be talking about in the other portal, the going deeper one, is from this perspective, this point of view. I really, Zen mind, beginner's mind, things like that, that sharing, there's a risk, especially because, okay, this is the other thing. I'm a smart guy. I've got good education, but I'm not in the priesthood, if you know what I mean. And that's not meant to be derogatory to people that have a PhD from Stanford or are doing research at MIT or something like that. There are a lot of people that attempt to get some kind of PhD in any kind of discipline or any kind of school that they can, just so they can put doctor in front of their name, which is fine, is fine. I think many of us, okay, here's a little peek. Um, I think many of us feel like we are not on the inside of the game, that we're not very beautiful, incredibly intelligent, or successful and rich, or uber cool, all these kinds of things. And I share that. I share that. I grew up a farm boy in a mixed English-French community in Southern Ontario, across from Detroit. And okay, personal peak, but every man that I knew as a role model was one of the what I call the three Fs. They're either a farmer, a factory worker, or a fireman. And the fireman was the most professional of anyone. I didn't know any doctors or lawyers or anything like that. And plus being personally shy, it's this outsider perspective, which may be true or not true. It's probably socially true. We're not a caste system, but there's a kind of a social caste system. So this thing of knowing what you know, having to kind of like sneak in the back door of what's happening. I think many of us can relate to that. And okay, so that's what that is, as valid as it is or not. So, the amount of science that I can talk about is not because I've had good scientific training. I have different university, college level trainings and degrees, usually in kind of the peripheral things, oriental medicine, clinical homeopathy, all these things. So I would think it's a kind of a civilian science that we need right now. Why? Because our dominant philosophy, which is at odds with a lot of our feeling states, is we are scientific, we are materialistic, we are reductionistic, we are mechanistic, that this philosophy of reality is forcing us to be increasingly aware of scientific truth, peer-reviewed, they have said, and that's of great benefit, but it also creates a tension or a stress where we try to understand the physiology. We try to understand, oh, if you eat this blood pressure thing happens because of science. So I do swim in this world, the art and science of consciousness. So I'll do my best. And I think showing my process of learning to the best of my ability, I hope is more relatable or is relatable to, the 98% of us that don't have this kind of training, but want to understand science enough to fit into our worldview. The an intention I have in the going deeper is I've tried writing a paper, and the more I write about it, the longer or deeper the paper gets. So the topic that I expect to be presenting, and it'll be in steps and stages, no doubt, is a topic that I will risk calling our brainwaves real. Because this bothers me a lot. A reason, the other one I talked about the three C's, and then I forgot what one of them was. It's, again, a little humiliating or embarrassing. But my three C's are, I hope I remember them. Number one is I'm authentically curious. I have this appetite. That's number one. So I'll do my best to approach it with curiosity. The other is that some of it is confusing to me. It's not always clear. So I can be curious and trying to understand something. I feel confused sometimes. And then the third thing is I'm concerned. I'm concerned for my well-being, as everybody is, but I'm concerned for our joint well-being because a lot of socially accepted facts and truths are questionable, and some of them have proven to be actually incorrect, even though they were thought to be correct. So I'm curious, confused, and concerned. And with that point of view, I'm going to attempt to explore the topic of are brain waves real? I'll see you on the other side, and I don't mean that one. I mean in the other portal. Thank you very much. I appreciate you even taking time to listen.